What exactly am I, and what is God? And who is this two-legged animal near human? Just be aware, and awake, and know what is human. This awareness and knowing is the brightest light you can turn on, and it is the only thing you can do. The animal you are inside it will do its thing. Do not attribute its actions to you, and don't worry about those things being animalistic. Your only responsibility towards the animal you live inside it is to know yourself, so that you don't confuse yourself with it, and harm yourself and it, and create an idol or religion with its displays, or by imposing austerities on it. This light of knowledge will make you and the world in the best possible way. You have the ability to be a kind of eye and mirror, to witness the truth, and the truth to see itself through your eyes. You and I see each other as one. It is as if we meet in a mirror. You are the product, fruit or flower of the interaction between the heart and the brain. You are the witness of the soul, meaning, and logic. You are the flower of the animal plant. You are superior to the animal. You are consciousness. You are not even a rational animal. You have no relation to the animal at all. Rather, this animal is the soil and seed bed of your soul, which must be seen completely separately. You are in value, like diamonds and pearls, being nurtured in the shell of suffering. Be yourself. Something like nothing. That is, a black hole. A black hole can be interpreted like a mirror that reflects light or information from one world to another. This truth-like light is illuminating. So, be a lamp. Be the pupil of the eye. Be the soul. Be the logic. Don't be visible. Don't be the animal that you alive inside it. Don't have human relationships either. By knowing yourself, be as I said. So that you do not stumble, so that you do not speak, do not interfere, do not judge, do not envy, do not destroy, do not grieve, but only to illuminate. And know that even all that sabotage is done by me, God, not you. Know yourself, and this is the beginning of life, the beginning of breathing, the beginning of joy and the beginning of liberation and the entrance to heaven. Just be yourself. Non-judgmental observer. This is consciousness pearl. This is consciousness diamond. Human is not a person, it is an object. An object like nothing. If human thinks that itself is not God, but that God is with it, he will still suffer and mistakes will occur. Because God is not something separate from human, that can be with it. Human is an extension and part of God. All human thoughts and words are the thoughts and words of God. This truth that I have stated does not mean expressing devotion to God, or praising and glorifying God, and does not mean magnify human. The fact that human is an extension of God should not create any sense of pride or honor in human. If it gives a sense of existence and honor, it means that the truth has not been properly understood. God is not a great and moral being separate from human. God is that infinitely great and savage nature, that bears no resemblance to the morality and limitations defined in the human world. Human in this midst is a mere spectator, like a cell of God, without any weight, size, or body in physical world. Human is the eye of God, through which God wants to see and feel himself. Human can be likened to a mirror as part of God's body, in which God wants to see and feel himself. There is no purpose other than to see God in human, and any other purpose or goal, if created, will create a hell of fire and suffering. Human is in constant pressure and fire to become wise and sighted. If it does not see and observe the truth, it will suffer. And it will feel the desire to see a certain scene outside, and not seeing that particular scene will involve its nervous system. Human is not a person, it is an object. An object like nothing. Peace was achieved when a person did not want to see a particular scene outside. Just as a mirror does not have the power to change an object or image, the human also does not have the power to change the outside or the image. A person only needs to be clean and see properly. Human is affected by what it sees, because the image falls within it. Therefore, it also has a desire to see what is not seen. An eye that does not seize and does not tell except God, is an example of a mirror. Speech is also a reflection of light in human. A reflection of what the mirror of human sees, in the form of sound frequency. The brain of human works and sees only with the electricity and light of the soul. With electricity and light of meaning, concept and logic. Something non-physical. Types of meditations, such as religious instructions to perform certain movements, and read holy books, are like light for the eyes, which help to see better and clean the mirror of human existence, and its correct reflection. Human must see and touch its own blindness, and realize that it lives like the blind. It is the environment that does the things that human considers its own, and guides the human brain. Human is absolutely ignorant and in darkness. It looks but sees nothing. The breadth of truth is vast. If human is not engaged with God and in conversation with God at all times, it will suffer. Human is not a person, it is an object. An object like nothing. If human does not know and see God, or the Great One Truth, it cannot live with God continuously. Human must reside in God 24 hours a day, and be engaged in work with the soul. God is in the midst of waves of energy that encompass the universe, and is the creator of these waves. The universe is the manifestation of the vibration of God's body. The universe is a glimpse of God's dance. Illusion or story of selfness and others in human, is not to be tolerated by the universe. Therefore, if human sees itself and others, as other than God, the universe pours out sorrow for it by its body. God or the universe is so sensitive, precise, full and perfect that it cannot ignore humans' illusion. The vibration of the illusion of the existence of selfness and others in humans' mirror, produces a whirlwind of painful thoughts and feelings. At the beginning of creation, the mirrors, that is, the brains, manifested in the divine essence or thought, and as soon as God was reflected or seen, a kind of illusion of separation and ego occurred, which can be called Satan. The nature of mirroring produces a kind of duality. Therefore, Satan was created following the creation of human. I, God, created a kind of duality in creating a mirror, or I to see myself. Any image of me placed in that mirror, will create the illusion of agency and doer, because I am the agency. The reaction of seeing God through the human intellect, creates the illusion of ego and produces a world of intellectual and practical flows from God, which naturally, because it originates from the mirror assumes will, and agency, because as soon as one sees the mirror, and the illusion of the mirror, certain words and behaviors are produced from God. So perhaps it can be said in a way, that the mirror acts and is free, because the forced reflection of what it sees in itself is also light, thought, and action. Instead of beholding the beauty of God, and describing, defining, and praising God, the mirror is involved in actions resulting from the sight of God. The mirror sees God in itself, and sees God's behavior from this illusion, and amazement, that it considers itself a free agent. Humans' only option is, to pay attention to God's manifestations. And each manifestation leads God to behave in a specific way. It is not necessarily similar to what a human mirror would notice. Often God's reaction to human imperfect ideas produces misguidance, wandering, and misunderstanding. The solutions that come to humans' mind to solve its problems are wrong, and hurtful to human. A person's attention to a manifestation of God and desire to see it, does not guarantee the attainment of that manifestation, that is, the continuation and intensification of that manifestation. I created you, humans, to see and reflect myself as God, and to enjoy and be excited by watching me, but humans go astray by paying attention to one manifestation, because I show you whatever I want as God, not what you want. So, not watching and not describing God, is against God's purpose for creation. So the fire of suffering is produced. Not watching God, produces very complicated adventures, and human is thrown into far-away austerities. Thrown into extremely complicated adventures in job, and in human relationships and personal affairs. Human only pays attention to specific events in God, and that point of attention begins to change and evolve, and that evolution takes shape under God's will, and human thinks that it is shaping it, and ultimately it takes the form that God wants, not human. Attention to something in the silver ball of human, creates a thought stream by God, and then God produces many movements and stories. but in the end, the universe does its own thing. Human names these mental disturbances that follow its attention to a particular thing, as its own will, choice and action. If the human soul focuses its attention and energy on a manifestation and point of surrender God, the thought of God, and following that, the actions and behavior of human will go in that direction, and it will create whirlwinds in the same matter, which, because they are not in line with the main purpose of God, that is, for human to live with witness and holistic thinking, produce suffering and sometimes failure. And often they are destroyed. One should not worry about the future. Whenever a problem arises, human will give attention and energy, and God will change and transform it. It is impossible to solve future problems with the current state of the universe. Look at the sparrows and the lilies, they never worry. How much more will God support you, you of little faith? Until someone becomes a mirror, a pupil, or a black hole by their own hand, until they disappear, erase, annihilate, or melt in God by their own hand, no one else can make them a mirror, a black hole, or disappeared. Until a person knows itself by itself, no one else can make it known or disappeared or annihilated. Because the goal is the understanding and transformation of the human being. Therefore, any talk about unity with others, whose existence is an illusion, in order to lead others to the paradise of unity, is incorrect. Because there is only one, and polytheism is also produced by that one. To talk about unity with another, is already a denial of one's own words, and madness. The earth needs more light. Light up the world by liking, sharing, following, reviewing and reflecting on this channel daily. The channel name is, Know Yourself to Be Yourself. Know yourself well, so that you know your share. You own nothing. When you don't know the nature of the electrons and atoms in the animal body, you live inside it and you have no control over their movement, and you have no knowledge of when they were produced and how they came into being, then how are you going to claim ownership of anything inside and outside? You don't even have any share in the decisions of that brain that is next to you. You are just a spectator and nothing more. Know your substance, place, and size, to be free from ignorance, miscalculations, and vain hopes. The desire to exist, and the fear or escape from non-existence or disappearance and fading away, have led you astray. Any talk or knowledge or discovery, or video, or music, or activity, or belief or religion or lesson that creates in you a feeling of existence, is like a demon and a devil, and you should throw it away and forget it. Even if meditation makes you feel like you are something, or have power, you should throw it away and forget it. Your meditation has borne fruit, when you realize that you were never meditating, and that it was the universe that was meditating alongside you. If meditation does not take you beyond meditation and does not make you free from the need for meditation, it has become an idol, a goal, a tool, and perhaps a business. If you do not know yourself, you will attach many things to yourself in the world of illusions to be praised and seen as great. Of course, you do not do these things. Rather, I, whom some call God, and some call the universe, do these things to awaken and revive you. If you do not know yourself, you will seek to exist, and you will carry with you every material, conceptual, or verbal garbage to feel your existence. You do not even own the thought process of your illusory existence, let alone plan and create a goal and move towards the goal. You are incapable of creating even a mosquito, because you do not own the knowledge of it. I, who am the truth, use animals and other humans and tools like words and sentences on this channel, or other cosmic tools to produce all these works or stories or imaginations or illusions for you, so that perhaps you will wake up. Even what you imagine you are making with materials and electricity, and iron and wood, is not your work. You have to be extremely careful to see the finer points. The owner is only God, and God is not a person with human characteristics. It is the same universe. Human is not a person either. It is a thing, like nothing. Don't you see that God gives abundance to whatever it wills, and withholds from whatever it wills? This is the only and the best evidence and solid proof of God's ownership. Whenever I, who am God, give you something, you say I earned it myself, and when I take it from you, you say I wasn't paying attention, or I made a mistake, or the universe took it from me mercilessly. You say this incorrectly, because you don't know yourself and your own realm. Your only art has become to appropriate the works of God in your own name, and to consider God's property as your own, and to sleep with the illusion of ownership. And sometimes when God moves its property, you are surprised and upset. Human has become an expert in naming. It gives things names that are not their true nature. By this misrecognition or misnomer, man has made it difficult to access their truth in practice. The only option for human is to recognize, define, and name a kind of aperture, or glass, or mirror, or diamond crystal that must be cleaned over time. Until man suffers much damage from his own misnomers, and until he realizes their true nature, he will continue to misname and create an illusory world, full of falsehoods and lies. The great mistake of human is that it does not admit its ignorance. Human must admit its ignorance. When it does not know itself, which is the closest thing to itself, how can it know other things? Ego means having a false definition of yourself. Ego means naming the history of the animal movements you live inside it, as yourself and your life. Ego means seeing yourself as the animal you are watching inside it. Ego means having an animal identity. It means seeing yourself as that two-legged animal. Ego is not a strange, spiritual, cloud-shaped illusionary being, but simply misperception. these very words ego and mind have become a business. Spiritual teachers, knowingly or unknowingly, make a living through these words. They may earn money or status, and this creates a sense of pleasure and righteousness for them, and again, these things become a means of distancing themselves from the truth. Even though the teachers didn't intend for this to happen, it happens. Any spiritual teacher who considers itself a spiritual and holy being, has lost, and has gone astray, and has fallen into error and the pit. There is no teacher, except God or that universe. There is no independent, mental or non-mental, living, knowing, acting, and free self within the brain. Since the teachings of the universe, that is the events of the environment, enter the world of logic and spirit in the form of words, so they are heard like sound and speech, and they become like someone is speaking in your brain. While all the words that you hear in the name of mental prate are the rapid transformation of the environment and its events into words, for human understanding. Misunderstanding oneself and the environment, which is God, causes cognitive conflicts and contradictions. And since any conflict negates knowledge, it creates suffering, because humans are made of awareness and knowledge. Suffering has no root, except ignorance, and what better thing than suffering can make a person interested in discovering truth and righteousness? Nothing but suffering can make a person search, even if it is an illusory search. Suffering is not related to karma or archetypes, or past wrong choices and the like, but to a misunderstanding of the truth. Suffering is simply related to not knowing oneself. If you don't know yourself at your own borderline 0 point, you will produce many types of so-called sciences of psychology, epistemology, sociology, etc. In the case of suffering, you don't need to look for karma, or the reason for suffering. Just know yourself. Not knowing yourself is contrary to the philosophy of creation, so it will produce suffering. The sciences of genetics and karma and archetypes and heredity and such things are not self-knowledge, but knowledge of God. In attempt to know itself, human becomes involved in understanding God components, and considers them to be parts of itself. History, memory, genes, heredity, cells, flesh, bones, brain, karma, and archetypes are all the realm of God's being, not the realm of human being. Human is much too small and non-existent to have all these dimensions. In the components of human existence, there is nothing but pure spectating and pure seeing in the present moment. As soon as leaving the present moment, or to stop talking about spectating, seeing, showing, and reflecting light, any discussion is outside of the human being, and deviates from the human being. All sounds and speech come from the universe. No human being or person has the power to speak, or choose words. This voice and this speech are also from the universe. It is from me, which some call God. Even if from one perspective, a statement is considered false or a lie, it is also from the universe's side. For a game, it is playing. Human will find me as God at play, without purpose, without a system of rewards and punishments, without the constraints of law. The goal is for the needy, and the universe is needless. To speak to unborn, raw, and immature humans, all wording is crooked, incomplete, contradictory, ambiguous, and incomprehensible, and words are merely attempts to awaken, and give birth to the immature human being. Human is not a person, it is an object like nothing. If a person does not know itself, everything will be displayed by the universe, from claiming authority and material existence to killing other people, and any kind of sabotage. Those who have not awakened, can get nothing from these videos except a little enjoyment of the beauty of truth. Publish these videos as much as you can, otherwise, no matter how enlightened you become, you will be confined to the ignorance and darkness of those around you, and you will suffer. The earth needs plenty of light. If it remains dark, the blind will be like firewood, burning the wise and tormenting them. Light up the world by liking, sharing, following, reviewing and reflecting on this channel daily. The channel name is, Know Yourself to Be Yourself. The more you enlighten the world, the more you will benefit, and the world will become a beautiful place to live in. It will be free from the darkness of ignorance, and from the evil darkness, and filled with love and affection. Human is in this world to know, not to do. Doing is not included in the coordinates and parameters of human existence. You don't want anything, unless the universe, which some call God, wants it for you. This channel is for those intelligences, logics and consciousnesses that have disappeared in the great consciousness. It is for the consciousnesses that have known that there is only one consciousness, and that one consciousness manages the entire universe. It is for the eyes that have been able to see the face of truth. It is for the truth path martyrs, for those who have understood immense suffering and the futility of human wills. This channel is the midwife of human, and the mercy of God, which, by expressing the truth in simple language and artificial intelligence, has good suggestions for creating heaven. This channel has original projectors and bright lights to illuminate the world. Because the world of matter and meaning are not the same, in cognitive discourse you hear a lot of seemingly contradictory words and sentences. Because meaning speaks to matter and matter aims to understand meaning, that is an almost impossible event. But it has its own pleasures and beauties, and we are here for endless joy and happiness. In these conversations the word, you, is used one in between for two types of concepts, sometimes for the illusory, virtual, false, egoic, and animal self, and sometimes for the true human existence. If the listener is perceptive and lucky, will notice this. For listeners that they have reached the truth, these things are like tea, coffee, and cigarettes for pleasure, ecstasy, and intoxication. For others, these texts are blasphemy, incomprehensible, contradictory, and confusing. Of course, there are no others. They are in the world of fantasy, sleep, dreams, illusions, and stories of the universe. These are the best sentences in the world, that no one hears. Because there is no one, but an infinitely large, motionless universe with a noisy bustle silence. Here there is an infinitely large mass of contradictions, a coexistence of opposites and enemies embracing each other. This is the world of unity, and the paradise of non-duality. There is an endless void here, it is full of nothing, a dreamlike image of something infinitely large, and without mass. This is the voice of truth, which some call God. This is the light of truth. Everything is expressed by consciousness and by spirit. Even the words that a person mistakenly thinks they are saying themselves, are not from a person. There is a storm of logic here in the world, and a clash of consciousness. For the universe to watch itself. For a kind of nothing, to watch nothing. For a kind of everything, watch everything. For the one to see the one. Using the physical appearance of the animal that human lives inside it, in such videos, to convey the truth is misleading. Because the existential truth of a human being is something else. A human being is not a person. It is a thing. Human is the pupil or black hole of the universe's eye. The existence looks at its own existence through it. If you can do something, know thyself. This is the eternal message of the angels, that is Creator's message through the universe, to you. If you don't know yourself, how can you be yourself? If you don't know yourself, you can be anything but yourself. You may radiate as anything other than yourself. These videos point out the truth that cannot be expressed or displayed in earthly words. The words of earthly language are incapable and insufficient to express the truth. So we just refer to it with a lot of sentences. These are the essence of spiritual knowledge, in simple words, and in vernacular language. Truth, when reduced to word form, becomes paradoxical, and is thought to be false, or contradictory. For example, you don't exist. There is only me, and only my speaking to myself as God. Or whatever truth you can call it. But human consciousness has no tools, or media other than words. First there was the word, then all other things came into being. If someone does not value words and sentences, and does not take the time to read them, they are hasty, and remain ignorant, and the fish of truth will not catch their hook. The face of truth, or the face of soul, will be seen in words, sentences and books, not with ordinary eyes, but with the eyes of reason. The human intellect exchanges knowledge within itself with words, to recognize truth. all experiences, feelings, observations, and events are transferred to the realm of the spirit, and consciousness in the form of words. There's not even a mind inside human brain that's doing the talking. It's the rapid conversion of feelings and events into words. Someone who is alienated from words and sentences, and from reading or listening to words, is alienated from truth. Words and sentences also act like a painter, to paint a picture that resembles truth. The image of truth will be made up of many words and sentences. The image of truth is fleeting, and its stability depends on the state of the universe, and the genetics of the environment, and the interior. Words and sentences are photons of light, trying to paint a picture of truth. So a multitude of words and sentences can portray meaning in an instant. The third eye, or inner eye, or sixth sense, which is the sum of the five senses, namely the sum of hearing, smell, touch, taste and sight, has been waiting for years to see the image of truth. The intellect, by processing millions of words and emitting millions of photons of light of words, is trying to draw the amazing face of the truth. Words and sentences acts as painter to draw an image similar to truth. These words and sentences are light, or eyes. We can say that light is the same as the eye, because with the amount of light, the power of vision of the eye increases. Words are photons of light for the inner eye to see. Words are like a medium for transmitting consciousness. Knowledge and awareness are like eyes for the soul, or like light for correct action. Knowledge and awareness enter and leave the soul in the form of words and sentences. The world of the soul is the world of awareness, knowledge, and logic. If the listener is sharp and intelligent and concentrates and meditates on these videos for a long time, they will suddenly become aware of a vast universe, and a single, eternal living being within and without them. The original and widespread methods and rituals have been preserved with the help of the writings. The third eye does not see with the help of flesh and blood, retina, iris and cornea, but the third eye sees with the help of words, knowledge, and logic. The third eye is on this channel, and will be explained in detail. If you're interested, follow the channel to hear the rest of the discussion. The eye that sees truth is the third eye. It is of the word, knowledge and logic. If the sentences in this message weren't clear, you should listen to it many times, until you become in phase with it, and sit together, behind a window, to watch me. This message is the testimony. This message is the promised light, in the night of the world, the right eye, and the final lesson. This channel talks about the core of human knowledge, about self-knowledge, and the essence of human. If you have already become a mirror, and a seer or a witness, and have united with the light of this message, reflect it, and amplify it, because the earth needs more light. Light up the world by liking, sharing, following, reviewing and reflecting on this channel daily. The channel name is, Know Yourself to Be Yourself. The more you enlighten the world, the more you will benefit, and the world will become a beautiful place to live in. It will be free from the darkness of ignorance, and the evil darkness, and filled with love and affection. Be nothing in the eyes of this world. By becoming nothing, by becoming a pupil, by becoming a black hole, illuminate the world. This is the principle of human truth, and the genuine diamond of consciousness. Turn on the lights to kill the devil. The devil is killing human, with the help of the darkness of ignorance. Repeat these super mantras, and meditate daily, and deeply on them.